political parties, we're getting their reaction. This time around, we're getting the reactions of major opposition in the race. I'm being joined tonight by a chieftain of the New Nigeria's People's Party, Alhaji Buba Galadima. Thank you so much indeed for coming tonight.
Thank you, Sharon.
Let's begin, and let me get your feel about the process generally. Do you have a sense of trust and confidence in the process that INEC is going to deliver a free and fair election?
Well, Sharon, you've been out of this country for some time, therefore...
Not for some time, a few days.
You may not be very conversant with the current
very
political
much, more than what you
happenings.
think, Alhaji Galadima.
You know, for what had happened this morning, there is a lot of room for concern that for INEC, for example, to come out and say, look, the INEC chairman is not being removed. It's a statement by INEC. There are a lot to it which most media and journalists do not know.
Can you tell us?
The INEC chairman is under extensive pressure to tamper with the Electoral Act because the ruling party wanted to table an issue before the National Assembly such that they will give INEC, force the chairman to write to National Assembly that it should not be compelling on INEC to use the BVAS machine. And this is the greatest disservice and an unpatriotic thing that some elements in the ruling party are trying to put forward.
Could this be true? I mean, it appeared like a rumor because INEC had come to say, we're sticking with the BVAS, we will use it. And it's been captured in the INEC guidelines and in fact, in the electoral law, that INEC will use any of the technology device that it deems fit.
Yes, it's correct. In the Electoral Act. They want to amend the Electoral Act. Therefore, I want the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, General Muhammadu Buhari, to take a note of some bad elements that wants to smear his image when he leaves office. You could have listened to Senator Kabiru Gaya, the chairman on INEC, who recently was on national television telling the world that INEC must be given an alternative either to use or not to use the BVAS. Because in his own constituency of Gaya, which is in the middle of Kano State, there is no network to transmit results. He's only preparing grounds for what they have designed as a party because they know this election they have lost. He, in particular, is eating his last loaf of bread in the Senate.
Why did you say so?
Because he can never win an election against the cow smeller. You have seen the gathering. I wonder that when you are putting clips of other parties, you didn't put the clip of NNPP to show the world that we are the party to beat in this election.
Are you on the ground?
We are deeply rooted. Foundation.
Beyond Kano.
Let's assume it is only Kano. Kano has registered voters of 6-point-something million people. And any candidate that has a base of starting point 6 million votes is the candidate to beat. So why should you leave a candidate with a base and chase the one that is floating in the air, who have no political base?
Which is?
All of them, because you say Kano.
No, I'm asking
which of the candidates has any base?
Tell me, you are the politicians, you are the experienced politicians.
Well, you know better. You are asking me. Kwankwaso, right, Kano. But you've seen him in Akwa Ibom. When we went to Akwa Ibom, the crowd, with all the rain, the crowd we've put together is 10 times the crowd that was put for PDP Southeast Zonal Rally. And in fact, when you look at the stadium, 2/3 of the stadium is empty. And those that are occupied were occupied by school children in uniform. So, have you seen us in Lagos for the second time?
Does the rally crowd really amount to real support on the ground? And I would like to ask you, because INEC has received the party's membership details and the number of the party membership details. How many members do you have?
Let me tell you,
NNPP.
We are a new party. We are a new party. That is why we made an innovation for the last 2 months to visit states and open our offices. Now we have become a role model that the APC and the PDP are doing the same, but they are 23 years old. It's because they copy from us. Let me tell you something. If we are not the party to beat, why should other political parties budget billions of naira to buy PVCs from all over the country because they thought the Talakawas who follow Kwankwaso must be disenfranchised, not by rhetorics or by campaign, but by buying their PVCs off. This is what is happening, and the security agencies are not doing their job. I saw you just now. You said somebody else was arrested in Sokoto in possession of 100 voters' cards. That has been arrested by our own Kwankwaso guards all over Northwest and handed over to the police. They are doing that because they are trying to erode Kwankwaso's base.
But clarify, now that you're here, I know that there is a lot of alignment, realignment, and working together, handshake that will happen before the election itself.
Do you want to also hold the view? Do you also want to hold the view?
Let me finish the question.
Has been labeled that Kwankwaso is working for somebody?
No. Let me ask.
Does he look like somebody working for somebody?
Are you omnipotent and omniscient?
Does the gatherings and the people you have just shown here indicate that Kwankwaso can step down for any
May I ask the question?
On what basis? What do we do?
Do you read
what
minds?
do we do?
Just hold on.
What do we do with our candidates?
Alhaji Galadima.
We were.
Just hold on. If I may ask the question, just hold on.
Expelled from
Alhaji Galadima.
We were expelled.
Would you allow me to ask the question? Just hold on, Alhaji Galadima. Let me ask the question. You're preempting me. Now, the question is there a possibility of a merger, of an alignment with PDP or APC?
Which section of the Electoral Act or Constitution allows that at this particular time?
So there are no plans by your party?
You tell me, unless the law permits. I don't think the law has any provision for that now.
But we have seen it in the past. Where political, just a moment, where political parties, one political party aligns with another political party, just a moment. And hold on, Alhaji, and it tells its followers and supporters to vote for another political party because they are now working together. How can the majority work for the minority? Who are the minority? All the other parties are minorities as far as NNPP is concerned. You have just shown on the screen the kind of followership that the man has, and we don't give 1 penny to invite anybody. Do you know the other time we were in Kano last weekend? Listen. Hold on. Although you said that we don't play your video, so that's your video. So somebody with this kind of support, I think those who say this are not unpatriotic, but even out of their minds. Kwankwaso is the man to beat in this election. And all the candidates put together, all of them, I'm telling you, let them produce one candidate and let there be free, fair, and transparent election. As far as Nigerians will vote,
Kwankwaso would be the president.
Let me ask you. So you are not a neophyte. You are not a newbie in the politics in Nigeria, except if mischief is going to be drawn into this. And I like you to, because you are that kind of person. You and I, we've had our time on television, either good or bad. So
good always.
So I mean, I know that with your age, lies will not come out of our conversation. You will always speak truth. How would Kwankwaso win this election? Give us your own permutations. What are the figures saying?
Fine.
Where do you think Kwankwaso will win?
Correct, fine. First, PDP is not even on the ballot.
How? What
because do you mean? The strength of the PDP is in the southeast, which has been eroded by Peter Obi. The strength of the PDP, next, is in the south-south. With Wike never to support Atiku, south-south is gone. Is gone. And with Udom not picked as the vice presidential candidate, I don't think he can use his money to counter Wike's influence in the southeast. And Wike is not only strong in the southeast. Wike commands 14 states of Nigeria for PDP. All of them follow him. 5 serving governors, 9 gubernatorial candidates outside PDP-controlled states, all belong to Wike. It is what Wike decides that will happen in the PDP. So, and the Northeast is completely Kwankwaso is born. Yes, because Kwankwaso will win Taraba, he will win Adamawa, he will win Gombe.
Has he done it
He
before?
will win Bauchi.
Has he done it
including governorship. Just look, I don't talk frivolities. You know that. You are my witness. Everything I have said here had come to pass. And Nigerians will bear me with. Hold on.
Except that you told me before 2019 that Atiku Abubakar was going to win the election.
He won. He was denied. You know he won.
What?
You can't swear by the Bible. I know you believe in God.
Why do I swear? Why do I need to swear? Because the reality is that if Atiku Abubakar won the election, he's not the president.
No, not in Nigeria.
And the court has said no, that he's not the president.
Now, let me make another point. That here with you, I argued that Buhari must sign that electoral act in 2019. And he came out to say he was not going to sign because it is less than 6 months to election. Now they want to change the law because they are losing when it is only 4 months to the elections. So there is nothing I say. In fact, let me tell you that if you see any reorganization of any of the security systems in this country, be assured that there is something up the sleeves of those who would advise the president to do that. And they have already made that arrangement. They want to go and convince the president to do that in order to help them win election. I call on Nigerians that they must take their destiny into their hands and that they must resist, including the international community, must resist all maneuvers to tamper with the Electoral Act, which has already been agreed for. It is already less than 4 months to an election. The Electoral Act must stay, and the elections must be conducted with this Electoral Act. And for Kwankwaso, listen to me, he will win the Northeast, he will win the North Central, he will win the Northwest. Both combined, they have over 50-something million voters. So, and Kwankwaso will poach the South-South, Kwankwaso will poach part of the Southeast, Kwankwaso will poach part of the Southwest. I assure you that all Nigerians who desire freedom, who desire development, who desire progress, who desire their children to go to school, who desire health services, have no other person to vote for except Senator Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, FNCE, PhD.
Alhaji Buba Galadima, I'd like to ask you, because I know politics is science, except if you are speaking as a spiritualist, maybe you are conjuring some political powers from somewhere I don't know, or maybe it's a permutation and you're speaking in prophecy, or you are trying to, by faith, speak some figures to life. You've not spoken to how your candidate Kwankwaso is going to get all of these votes that you've talked about. Why should Nigerians vote Kwankwaso? What does Kwankwaso bring to the table? Why is Kwankwaso better than the other candidates on the ballot?
Thank you very much, Sheon. I would rather clap for you for asking this question. First, is there any candidate in this election that is half educated as Kwankwaso? Half, not full. PhD in engineering. Which of them? Is there any candidate that has touched the lives of ordinary Nigerian as Kwankwaso did? Is there any candidate that practically, verifiably, touchable, that had a performance while in public office as Kwankwaso has done? Is there any candidate whose word is his bond among all as Kwankwaso? Is there any candidate of all of them that is as healthy, as intelligent, and had a wide experience, legislative, diplomatic, and executive as Kwankwaso? Is there any? That puts him miles and miles ahead of all of them.
But why are the polls not in his favor? Have you seen the polls?
It's okay. Let's assume the polls are correct. So I sit down here, I conducted my poll, and I'm saying that Kwankwaso is the winner. Does that make it a reality?
But that's not how polls work.
Oh, how do they work?
They go to the field, scientific
if I just sit down,
research.
By who?
By those who are professional in carrying out the polls.
Please, forget about them. Contrived polls. There was somebody, one of the leading presidential candidates, hired a consultant from France to give him an honest position as to who is likely to win this election. And the polls or the consultant told them that the man that will win this election, unless something else happened, is Senator Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso. And that if there is an inconclusive election, that it is only between Kwankwaso and one other person. I wouldn't mention the other one.
Who the person?
No. You go do your research. Shebi, you said you do polls.
No, I don't do polls. I'm saying...
Ask those who do the polls tell you the truth. They know the truth. That is why every candidate... Look, one of the candidates gathered all the clergy in northern Nigeria and asked them to persuade Kwankwaso to step down for him.
Who is
one of the candidates?
Who is the candidate?
Gathered all the traditional rulers in northern Nigeria to ask them to ask Kwankwaso to step down for him. One of the candidates went to all prominent people from northern Nigeria and asked them to persuade Kwankwaso to step down for him. One of the candidates gathered recently in Kaduna a conglomeration of faceless groups to say that every candidate should now come and put forward his manifesto as to what he will do to the North. As if Northerners don't know who is their friend. Is it what you will do as a politician that will stand you out, or what you had done that will bear you witness to what you can do in future?
Why did your candidate not attend?
Why is it, why? Now, listen now. Why is it that every candidate try to throw a spanner, saying, oh, Kwankwaso is working for this, oh, Kwankwaso will step down for this? Why don't they go and look for votes?
Why was Kwankwaso absent at the Arawa meeting in Kaduna?
Because in Islam, any mu'min, a believer, cannot be beaten twice by a snake. Kwankwaso was beaten. Some of those people that gathered in Kaduna were the ones that went to Port Harcourt in 2019 to say that the North has decided that so is the candidate of the North. And that worked against Kwankwaso, and he lost the primaries in Port Harcourt. We know them. We know their character. Some of them are our friends. We know each other. We know their views. Why should Kwankwaso go and take himself to the slaughterhouse to be slaughtered when he knows their position? and who their master is.
Because
we also know that it was that candidate that paid for everything concerning that arrangement. When he was to appear and they set a date and he traveled out of the country, they postponed the event. When his campaign program showed that he's going to be in Kaduna for 3 days, they now said the candidates should come and present their manifesto. First day, second day, he had a rally in Kaduna. They stopped the event until the other day. That goes to suggest
we're out of
that
time,
they are
Alhaji Galadima, because in politics there is no impossibility. Anything can happen. I mean, a day before the election, anything can happen.
Yes.
If there is any possibility of working together with any of the candidates, who do you think your candidate can work with?
For now, we believe we can win the election first ballot. If that doesn't happen, then we can ask any of them, because Kwankwaso is going to be at least have the majority votes on that day for that election. We will ask one of them to support us.
Because I'll still bring you back on this program. Should Kwankwaso lose this election, what would you do?
Kwankwaso? I can't imagine him losing. If he loses, it means that the election was compromised.
Because this is not the first time your permutations are wrong.
No, it has never been wrong. You are my witness.
No,
you are my witness.
You told me Atiku Abubakar was going to win.
If I'm taken to Supreme Court, I will invite you to give evidence.
You have told me Atiku Abubakar will win the election, the first ballot. The same way you were confident.
I say he won the election.
Well, the court didn't say so.
I don't want us to go into that.
All right. Thank you so much, Alhaji Buba Galadima. It's always a pleasure having you around.
Thank you
so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Well, that's our show for today, everyone. Many thanks for watching. I'm Shiwa Kimbale. God bless Nigeria. Bye-bye, everyone.